The haunting delivery. Emily had taken on the late-night shift at the pizzeria to earn some extra cash. She was a young woman in her early 20s, ambitious and hardworking. But on this particular night, she would face a trial that would test her courage and resilience in ways she never imagined. It was well past midnight when the order came in for a remote cabin nestled deep in the woods. The address seemed unfamiliar, and a sense of unease washed over Emily as she accepted the delivery. But she shrugged it off, reminding herself that she had delivered to remote locations before without incident. As Emily navigated the winding forest roads in her beat-up old car, the darkness seemed to press in around her. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, their branches clawing at the sky. She couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracking her every move. Finally, the cabin came into view, a solitary beacon of light in the oppressive darkness. Emily parked her car and hesitated for a moment, her instincts screaming at her to turn back. But she had a job to do, and she couldn't afford to let fear get the better of her. She grabbed the pizza box and approached the door, her heart pounding in her chest. The air was thick with tension as she knocked, waiting anxiously for a response. When the door creaked open, Emily's breath caught in her throat. Standing before her was a man, tall and gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce straight through her. His presence sent a shiver down her spine, and she fought to maintain her composure.
"Your pizza,"
she managed to say, holding out the box with trembling hands. The man's lips curled into a sinister smile as he reached out to take it. But before Emily could react, he grabbed her wrist with surprising strength, pulling her into the cabin and slamming the door shut behind her. Panic surged through Emily as she struggled against her captor's grip. She could feel the heat of his breath on her neck as he whispered in her ear, his words chilling her to the bone.
"You're not going anywhere,"
he hissed, his grip tightening like a vice. With a surge of adrenaline, Emily fought back with all her might. She kicked and screamed, clawing at her assailant's face in a desperate bid for freedom. But the man was relentless, his grip unyielding as he dragged her further into the depths of the cabin. In the dim light, Emily could see the glint of metal as he produced a knife from his pocket, brandishing it with malicious intent. Her heart hammered in her chest as she realized the gravity of her situation. She was trapped, at the mercy of a madman in the heart of the wilderness. But Emily refused to give up hope. With a burst of strength born of sheer desperation, she broke free from the man's grasp and bolted for the door. Adrenaline fueled her every movement as she raced through the forest, branches clawing at her skin as she fought to put as much distance between herself and her would-be attacker as possible. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Emily emerged from the woods, gasping for breath and covered in sweat and grime. But she was alive, and that was all that mattered. With trembling hands, Emily reached for her phone and dialed 911, her voice shaking as she recounted the horrors she had endured. Within minutes, the police arrived, their flashing lights a beacon of hope in the darkness. As she sat in the safety of the patrol car, Emily couldn't help but feel a profound sense of relief wash over her. She had survived the ordeal against all odds, and she was determined to never let herself be put in harm's way again. The next day, Emily marched into her manager's office and informed him of the terrifying incident that had unfolded the night before. She refused to make deliveries to remote locations at night, citing safety concerns and the need to prioritize her well-being above all else. To her relief, her manager agreed without hesitation, promising to review the company's safety protocols to ensure that no one else would have to endure what Emily had gone through. With a newfound sense of empowerment, Emily vowed to put the nightmare behind her and move forward with her life, grateful for every precious moment she had been given.